Hi, I'm Steve Hines from Peak 15 Fitness. I'm going to spend a bit of time talking to you about food allergy and food intolerances. Now, food allergies and food intolerances are becoming more widely recognized amongst nutritional and conventional medical practitioners. Now, food allergies can be quite a serious condition, such as a child having an allergy to nuts, or when consuming them, they would go into anaphylactic shock, and the airways close off, and this can be quite life-threatening, obviously. But less seriously, they could suffer from a runny nose, itchy eyes, sneezing and wheezing, and other kind of food allergy responses. Now, a food allergen causes an immune response where IgE antibodies attack the allergen, and this causes the release of histamine, and this causes the symptoms described just now: itchy, runny nose, itchy eyes, sneezy, wheezy. And these IgE-mediated food allergies could manifest themselves in conditions such as asthma or eczema, hay fever, as well as things like recurrent colds and recurrent infections. Now, another food-mediated immune response is known as a food intolerance. Now, this happens when there is an IgG or an IgA-mediated response to a food, which is associated with degranulation of basophils and mast cells, and these create inflammation. Now, considered to be less severe than a food allergy, food intolerances can manifest as low-grade, or what Barry Sears calls silent inflammation, with subclinical symptoms such as brain fog, irritable bowel, headaches, or low energy. These IgG-mediated food intolerances may also create no outward symptoms, but can be creating havoc on the inside. Research from the Clinical Institute of Medical and Chemical Laboratory Diagnostics in Austria have shown that obese children have significantly higher IgG antibodies against certain foods than normal weight children. And these IgG-mediated antibodies are associated with thickening of the common carotid arteries, which is quite serious, a precursor to cardiovascular disease and stroke. And the authors of this study state that these findings raise the possibility that IgG-mediated food antigens are pathogenetically involved in the development of obesity and atherosclerosis. Unfortunately, many conventional doctors and dietitians will tell you that there's no such thing as food intolerances. However, you can easily test yourself with a reliable home test kit called a York test. So just simply Google York test and you'll be able to find their information. And you can also see that food manufacturers are now embracing the idea of food intolerances and are providing us with foods that are gluten-free or wheat-free, and they're displaying this information on their products, which is great. Now, the most common food intolerances from doing blood tests are cow's milk. That always seems to come up in 95% of cases. Then there are also wheat and gluten, which are pretty much the same thing. And then other common foods are eggs and yeast and soy. Now, all of these foods are found in processed foods such as bread and pasta, bakery products, dairy products, and soy products. So simply eliminating and avoiding these foods can reduce your exposure to these food intolerances. Now, if you can't afford a food intolerance test, as they can be anywhere between 170 and 265 pounds, you can do an elimination diet. Now, this consists of a 2-week phase where you eliminate all potential food intolerances and just eat the following foods, really. You can eat all meat, seafood, fish and poultry as your source of protein. So chicken and turkey, seafood and white fish are generally lower in calories and fat, but you should still eat oily fish a couple of times a week to get omega-3s, and you can still eat dark meats such as beef and lamb. These are good sources of protein, good sources of iron and B vitamins. Now, combine these sources of protein with unlimited amounts of vegetables, and you can eat anything such as artichokes, asparagus, aubergine, bamboo shoots, beetroot greens, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, raw carrots, celery, chard, collards, courgettes, fennel, green beans, kale, all type of lettuce leaves, mushrooms, onions, parsley, peas, peppers, radishes, sauerkraut, spinach, tomatoes, turnips, water chestnuts, watercress. I think you get the idea. All of those green, leafy, non-starchy vegetables. But during this 2 weeks, you don't eat any grains. You significantly reduce the amount of fruit that you eat, purely because this will, fruit's quite sugary, full of fructose, which will also help you lose a bit of weight. You cut out the dairy, the starchy vegetables, you cut out alcohol. Now, this elimination diet will help your immune system to calm down, and it will allow your gut to heal, and it will allow you to lose that false fat water weight that you get from the inflammation around your bowels associated with food intolerances. Now, after the initial 2 weeks of food elimination, you should follow what is known as a Paleolithic diet or a hunter-gatherer diet for at least another 4 weeks, if preferably not another 8 to 12 weeks. And this will further allow your immune system and your gut to heal, and it will allow you to continue to sort of shed that water weight and that false fat. Now, this part of the elimination and diet includes, again, all meat, fish, seafood, poultry that you can eat. It's unlimited amounts of vegetables. You can eat any kind of fruit. However, you shouldn't eat unlimited amounts. You should restrict yourself to about 2 portions of fruit a day. You can also introduce nuts. You can eat olive oil, coconut milk, all kinds of herbs and spices. I mean, these foods are all available 10,000 years ago. But what you should still avoid and you shouldn't eat is grains, dairy, and legumes. And if you suffer from or have a family history of autoimmune disease, then you may also want to continue to restrict eggs, nuts and seeds, and the nightshade family of vegetables, which are tomatoes, potatoes, aubergines, and peppers. Now, you can also eat things like ginger, garlic, cinnamon, coriander, cumin, turmeric, basil, thyme, oregano, black pepper, sage, cardamom, and lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, horseradishes, pickles. So this is going to add untold flavor and variety to your foods. And after this time of food elimination, it's time to start reintroducing some foods that you've been avoiding, one at a time, to see if you start getting some of your old symptoms back. Now, for example, continue eating the paleo way, but add back to your diet some dairy, for example, for a week. Reevaluate how you feel. If your symptoms remove, simply remove dairy again and try adding back something else like a grain or another food that you've eliminated. And keep either introducing or removing some of these offending foods until you're happy with what you feel you can handle and what you feel you should stay away from. And this will also help your body shape and your mood and your energy levels. So some good resources on food allergies, food intolerances are www.allergyuk.org and www.yorktest.com. And a particularly good book that you can read for recipes is it's by Lucinda Bruce Garden. It's called How to Cook for Food Allergies, Understanding Ingredients, Adapt Recipes, and Confidence and Cook for an Exciting Allergy-Free Diet. Okay, so if you want to find out more information on food intolerances, food elimination, how to eat to avoid these food intolerances, how to eat to look and feel better, you can visit www.peakxvfitness.com, where you can find a whole host of information. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.